Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Wood. I'm a PhD student at Liberty University, and this is my defense of Western civilization. In order to argue in favor of the relevance of a concept or ideology such as Western civilization, one must first define it. Burke outlines two schools of thought that attempt to define the term Western civilization, as he attempted to contrast an expanded definition of Western civilization with a more restricted definition, the former including both Greece and Rome, and the latter excluding them. Rosenthal, in the same vein, presents two strands of freedom, one steeped in Greek thought, while the other is the modern liberal idea of negative freedom. Though Rosenthal presents them as two distinct entities, there is no reason why these two strands should be mutually exclusive, as the arbiter of each is embodied in a different entity. The Greek concept of freedom is controlled within the individual self, a freedom from one's own desires, while the modern liberal ideal of freedom is the rejection of the constraint by an outside entity, that is, the state or the government. One can enjoy both a freedom from one's own desires that limit his or her own potential, while at the same time not being limited by the constraints of the state. Freedom, it would seem, is not just a set of rights for the people, but also that of responsibilities. One cannot enjoy the rights without also being beholden to the responsibilities. Take, for example, the gun rights outlined by the Second Amendment. True, the citizenry of the United States of America is entrusted with the right to keep and bear arms, but only to the extent that they do so responsibly. You can use a gun for target practice. You can use a gun to hunt for food. You can use a gun to defend your home, your family, and yourself from those who might intrude upon your property with ill intent. You may also use a gun to defend yourself against the predations of a tyrannical government. However, you may not use a gun to settle a trivial or domestic dispute. You may not use a gun to shoot up the local school because of your own emotional distress. You may also not use a gun to violate another's rights in any way according to a whim. Basically, you have a right to use a gun, but you must do so responsibly. This goes the same for any other such right. Rights and responsibilities go hand in hand. This is what the concept of Western civilization teaches us, and why it is indeed relevant for today. Bitzer gives a more simple definition of Western civilization that gets right at the heart of its relevance for today. An idea of freedom, not an actual place. Thank you. Oh, it's you again. Welcome back. So to continue with our discussion earlier, the relevance of a study on Western civilization is not simply to quibble over whether or not we should include the Greeks, the Romans, the Byzantines, or the Islamic states in the discussion, but to discuss the concept of freedom throughout history. It is this study of freedom that could provide the much needed salve for the societal ills of modernity. I hope this helps to clear things up a bit. Thanks, and God bless.